All right, let's try this again. This is where we start. This is the top of Dubose and Buena Vista. And we're going to head down. You're going to see what I see as I head slowly down, and that'll limit the time of this talk. I was speaking today at a meeting, and then before that I heard some content from Themis and Thoth, the Manospheric discussion, but I had gotten up in the morning with an idea for this video in mind already. And the topic was, we talk about on the climb, but for black people there is a descent going on as we speak. And that is, if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, there's Golden Gate Bridge way out there, so we'll center it here. If you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you will end up in the permanent underclass. Your reservations have already been made by someone, not you, whether you like it or not. So how do you avoid that? How do you avoid the descent, if you will, into the permanent underclass? The ticket for it is not necessarily marked black, although at one time it may have been. Not necessarily marked black. That may not be there, although that makes it a lot easier. People seem to be comfortable with us as black people being poor and being helpless. People are very comfortable with this idea that this is what we deserve. But in the 21st century, that's not what that ticket is marked. Being poor, you would think, would also be immediate. But no, American history is replete with both poor people and black people of all colors who managed to come from being poor all the way up rags to riches. You'll find people in all colors. That's one of the things that's beautiful about life in the United States. And that goes to, first of all, understanding where it is that you stand. All right, we're going to get a view here. Speaking of which, this is one of the staircases here. Speaking of where we stand, here we get a beautiful picture, way off there. Way off there. In fact, let's see if we can go this way. And you can see way off there, both spires of the Golden Gate Bridge, sitting there in the distance. Knowing where you stand is very important. Very important. You stand, most of you who are listening to me, I don't think I have any subscribers outside the United States of America. So you stand in the United States of America. This is not a society where the members feel obligated to one another to help you with anything that you are not able to procure for yourself. So first of all, you have to understand that. Now, let me add this to that, though. Something that we tend to overlook because it is very easy for us to emotionally focus on the fact that there are things with which we have been denied and deprived. There is a sense of injustice that historically is correct for African Americans. But there's something else that we need to learn our history a little better and recognize that even back into the days of slavery, certain of our ancestors made decisions that would take them out of slavery. Our ancestors were building colleges, acting as judges in the United States of America, building businesses, and even while slavery was still going on, setting the foundation for some of the earliest ones to actually be some of the country's earliest millionaires, self-made. So we need to get an understanding that there were some choices that were made that kept them from being in the permanent underclass of their time, when it was much easier for them to be there than it is now for us, with all the opportunity we have. And the secret was given to us by a man who in one person comprises the founding father. Hold on, y'all. We're going to get some blackberries while we're over here. Hold on, let's get it to focus. Yeah, November the 2nd in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's a very mild climate. We're going to get some blackberries. I can't eat them right now because I'm talking to you. That would be rude. But I have them. I'll eat them later. All right, so that was a little diversion. You see everything I do out here. Nothing's hidden. There's really no cuts. Sun's coming out. Beautiful. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so I should also mention, this is the top of the hill, aided stairway that I showed you in the first On the Climb video. This is the first stairway. This is the top. So if you go back and you look at the picture of the first video we did at the very top, this is the other side of that hill. If you climb the stairway to the top, we're on the other side of it. Sun's coming out. Okay, where was I? A man who combined in one body and one soul. Founding father, statesman, ambassador, pedophile, president, rapist. Sally Hemings was 14 when Thomas Jefferson started with her. I know his white family living today doesn't like to hear that, but his black family needs to have the truth acknowledged, so we do it here. However, this man in the Declaration of Independence gave us something. The only thing you're guaranteed in the United States is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Some of our ancestors realized, okay, we don't have liberty. We do have life, and that leaves us the pursuit. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. In the United States, what you do get access to in general is the pursuit. So one of the things you have to do if you happen to have been born on an escalator going down, because there is a permanent underclass being created and everybody who's not fighting against it is going to be in it, what you can look at to do is the pursuit of climbing up instead. That's basically what the mindset you have to have. That's basically what you have to think about. Now, our ancestors began with life and the pursuit. That's it. That's it. We have a measure, I don't say a full measure, but we have a measure of liberty that they did not enjoy. So now, how is it that some of us are doing so poorly in this? Well, starting without sufficient resources is a problem. Starting deprived of a stable family situation is a problem for many of us. Starting deprived of both, because an unstable family situation tends to lead to unstable financial situations, is a problem. Acknowledged, okay? We're not going to pretend like these things don't exist. Now, I'm just going to mention up there, way off there, you see the big tower? That's Lone Mountain. That's another one of my walking goals, to go around that mountain. But right now, I'm staging Buena Vista from the western side, and I'll talk about that in another video. What I learned from someone who climbed Everest about how best to do this. I was doing it unknowingly, but how best to break down a project that cannot be done safely in one bid. Anyway, back to this video. One of the things that will help you no matter where you start is first understand where you stand. You do have the pursuit here, as we do not have it in many other countries. This is true. The pursuit is possible. If you have a cell phone or a computer, you have something that at the end of your fingertips, if you understand how to operate in a knowledge-based economy in a communications age, I say this all the time, you have something at the end of your fingers that is connected to trillions of dollars in commerce. Trillions. The question is, how do you get access to it? What are the mind shifts that you have to take place in your mind to be able to do this? One of the most important things that you will have to learn, first of all, where you stand. If you're here, you have life. If you're here in 2021, you have a measure of liberty, unless you are in prison. But if you are seeing this in prison, you still have a measure of liberty to learn new things. You have the promise of the pursuit of happiness. That's really the best that you can do, but you can make that work from wherever you are. But the two things you must understand, and I will combine them into one statement. One, no matter what your background of deprivation is, we all have something, because the world is not perfect. That creates zero obligation in anyone to do anything for you. And this is hard to receive because when you have been deprived, there is a sense of injustice. There is a sense of needing comfort and vindication. And if whoever was supposed to do that for you growing up did not provide you a sense of security, the need is there, and I acknowledge that. The problem is I can acknowledge it for you, but it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. Okay, I'm coming back down into a lot of extra noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find another quiet spot and we'll finish the thought because it'll be difficult for you to hear, and I do try to present a quality presentation. Hold on, we'll be back. And we're back. Just further down the hill, and we're heading toward a quiet little street called Page. It is a slow street, meaning that, yeah, there's traffic, but not so much that it will interrupt what we have to talk about here. Okay, first thing, as I was saying before, if you did not have the things you should have had in your development period, I recognize that it will lead to a sense of deprivation. It will lead to a sense of an injustice. But here's the problem. That does not obligate anyone else to do anything for you or give you anything. And if you fail to accept that, then you will be in a position of trying to manipulate other people to do for you what you must do for yourself. Again, if you fail to recognize the truth that no one is obligated to you, then you will always be in the position of waiting on others and attempting to manipulate others to do for you what only can be done for yourself. You have life. And if you have life, it means that you have something in you that was given to you in order to be able to take care of yourself in this world. You have liberty. If you're listening to me, I don't want to hear it. Don't come complaining to me. You have a measure of liberty. And the pursuit, I'm not saying you're happy yet, but you have a measure of being able to pursue happiness, even if it is not there. What I want you to understand is if you have life and you have liberty, then you can get the pursuit of the kind of things, the kind of life that you want, the things that you're going to get to. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I got to take a picture, sir.
Thank you.
All right. The thing about Page, it's a slow street, but that doesn't mean that there are not cars and other things. You got to be super duper careful. Oh, go ahead. You got to be super duper careful on Page. All right, we're going to do a rare middle of the street panorama. This is one of the very few places in San Francisco that you can actually do this. That's Page on the western side. And as you will be able to see as we turn around, there's still some hill left to get to the bottom. And there's Page on the eastern side, going toward downtown San Francisco. This is the hill we climbed on the first day, just the opposite side of the street. That's going up Buena Vista Hill. And here we are again, looking at Page toward the western side. I'm going to stay up here for a minute, and I'm going to let that be your view. I'm going to perch myself behind this local traffic sign for a minute, okay? And as you can see, there's still cars coming down the street. Bicycles, walkers, but there's not as much so that people can get out. In fact, you know what? Let me go over here to the corner. Making good decisions on the journey, just in case. You have something, if you have life and you have liberty, then you are able to have a pursuit. And if you're able to have a pursuit, then guess what? It's your job to do that. Now, a very popular misconception is, okay, I have life, I have liberty, I have a sense of deprivation. Sure, those things are real. I'm not here to tell you, here, me and my shadow. I'm not here to tell you that those things are not real. What I'm here to tell you about is that you have to overcome in spite of them. And if you have life and you have liberty, you have to pursue. And that's how you're going to get your life to be what it is. You have to take the first responsibility for your own life and for getting the things that you need done. This is a necessity. If you don't do it, it's not going to happen. No one's obligated to give you anything. Now, one more thing before we close out. And you know what? I'm going to make a break in this video right here. I'm going to say this to you. Hold on. Okay, let me tell you the last part of this with my face on the camera. I'm not someone who is not unconcerned about the struggles that many of us as black people have to go through to get anywhere. I'm not unconcerned about that. I'm not unaware. I've spent almost the last 25 years of my life ministering in the community. I'm not unaware that it's very difficult to come from a wounded place. So let me give you the secret, okay? Back up into some light so y'all can see me. Let me give you the secret, okay? Most of us, our attitude is, I'm going to get moving when somebody helps me. The reality is, people come to help you when you get moving. I was in a wheelchair 4 years ago. But because I went to my physical therapy and worked hard, they gave me extra tips. And when they saw that I was using those extra tips and getting stronger, then they gave me more. But I remember when I first got there, I accidentally saw the chart. Morbidly obese black female. They were surprised at how strong I was, able to get up on my own. And I realized, if I don't make some moves to show that I'm fully engaged in this and wanting to get better, they're going to assume that this is what I'm supposed to be, because they were so surprised that I was recovering. They told me that at my weight, I would never straighten my leg again. And they would have let me stay there. They would have assisted me in finding programs. I could have gone on permanently disabled. I probably could have kept the wheelchair. And they would have let me stay in that condition because it was already assumed that this is where I was supposed to be as a fat young black woman in America. If you are a black man, you understand this on an even higher level, where people already expect that you're a criminal, right? People expect that you're not going to do anything to be a thug. No matter how far you get, you can be in a suit, you can be a millionaire. Taxis won't pick you up. People will not come to help you if you are black. And then, as I found it in this meeting I was having this morning, guess what? Even when you get somewhere, people's psychology will keep wanting to throw monkey wrenches in your way because they can't understand why you have control of more things and things that they will never have. And subconsciously, they don't want you to have it. And that's when you're not dealing with racists who will let you know they don't want you to have it. So if you don't get moving as a black person in America, guess what? You're not going to get anywhere. But as you begin to move, you will gather the help around you that you need. So the first thing to settle down is, no one owes you anything. As a collective, black people are owed a great deal by this nation. You will starve while you wait. You will starve yourself out of opportunities. You will starve yourself out of being able to get the things you need to get done. And you're only going to be young and strong for so long. You have life, you have liberty, you have the promise of being able to make the pursuit. Then make it. And as you are going, the help you need will come to you. See my previous video about how to learn new things as an adult. When you're out past schooling and all the rest, things that people never told you about that you really need to know in the 21st century, go on up, check that out, learn how to learn new concepts of the 21st century. How to stage learning. I'll do that for my next video, the stages of being able to conquer a mountain. Oh. Sorry, y'all, phone call. The stages of being able to work on your learning. I will make a video on that in the near future. Let me recap. No one owes you anything. Get over that. And the minute that you try to wait on someone to help you or try to manipulate people into helping you, you've lost the game because you don't know where you stand. You stand in the United States of America, where we do not believe in people's obligation to one another. And we can be mad about this all day long. It produces absolutely nothing. If you come from a background that was deprived, that produces no obligation in anyone. You still have to get it and do the pursuit for yourself. And that's a sad reality, but that's where you stand. But here is the secret. Don't wait for help. Get started pursuing what you need to pursue. And as you do that consistently, help will come. This is how things work. I have a story to tell you about that, but not today. All right, everybody have a good day, and I'll see you on the next client. Yes, we'll probably have some Sunday school lessons coming out this week as well, but I'll probably see you sooner than that on the next client.